Hello, the name is Daman Dev Sood, your host for my weekly show, My Top Tips, every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST. My apologies for little delay this morning. Just finished an early meeting and then in starting it took some time. First of the new year, I didn't want to miss it while I'm due to travel immediately after this. But it's about 15 minutes that we keep. Sometimes I go beyond that, but that's not the intention. So today also, most likely in 15 minutes or so, we will be able to close it. What we have in mind for this morning is a very interesting one. I'm saying stats or no stats. BCM is non-negotiable. This is how we will start. Stats or no stats. BCM is non-negotiable. The myth is the stats, and I'm saying those are not required. 80% of the organizations fail after a disaster. We might have heard this n number of times. I heard first time about 2 decades ago when I started my BCM journey. Or another number, sorry, that goes around is 60%. Now, these number may be any numbers, but I am saying 60, 80% of the impacted, apologies for typo once again, organizations shut down within 6 months of a big disaster being faced by them. But we most likely do not know the source of these stats or whether these are correct. The problem is not that these numbers scare people. Later on, I am going to say, please do not use such numbers to scare people. The business continuity or resilience doesn't come by scaring people or doesn't happen by scaring people. It happens by embedding into the culture, which is a big topic. The problem is that most of them cannot be verified, or we do not attempt to verify. So starting straightway from top tips, today I'm going to give you six. First one coming up. If BC depends on statistics to survive, it is already weak. Why these stats become crutches? Because we borrowed fear or we borrow fear instead of building understanding or instead of developing, nurturing the culture of BCM or resilience. These stats got copied from old slide decks. As I said, someone 2 decades ago, before I jumped into this domain, had already used these numbers, these slides, and these continue. I also use these for some time. Or these were presented in some conferences or maybe some audit justifications. This is why we should have audit, BCM audit, or BCM certification, for example. Once again, we shouldn't do it for certification. We can get certification and it'll be easy, logical to first go through a structured journey. Nobody asks, where did this come from, these numbers, these stats, or is this relevant to us? Bigger question. Are these numbers relevant to us even today? We unintentionally trained leaders to believe that if the number is wrong, the risk disappears. So, for example, if it's not 60%, it's 50% for us. We are proving it wrong. The old stats, existing stat. We may have a feeling that we have less risk or we have no risk or risk has disappeared. That's a big, big myth. Chapter 2, continuity justified by fear will never be owned with conviction. This fear is a hindrance in culture, in developing, maintaining, and nurturing BCM and resilience culture. We need to take this fear out of our lives. You don't need surveys to see a reality. Cyber incidents have been happening, and these escalates in minutes. Ransomware does not mean operations only. It means reputation along with that, and maybe the financial implications as well if we pay the ransom. Or even if we don't pay the ransom, we recover through our arrangements. That may take time, effort, not direct money investment at that time. We would have invested the money in the past already. But for the time we are down, we may be losing money. There may be penalties also. Severe weather events have been happening, geopolitical risks have increased, supply chain failures have increased. Even if we don't know the numbers, I myself keep asking that we must know what actually is the impact, whether to people, how to processes or to technology, financial, non-financial, reputational. But even if you don't come to know, that's not a roadblock for me to work upon BCM and resilience because the fact is I know it happened. So there would have been some impact even if I do not know, even if people do not share it, even if it doesn't come out in the public domain because of privacies and confidentialities. Social media can be a big challenge these days. If your operations stop today, it's not just revenue that stops. Trust, safety, and livelihoods stop with it. And for this reason, the world has started working on operational resilience also, where the concept is that if you fail, it's not only you fail, there may be so many others dependent on you who may fail partially or fully. Thanks, Chris, for logging in once again from Australia. And if you look at the recent incident that happened in India with Indigo Airlines, this is an excellent case I'm writing to learn from and improve upon our own cases. It's a good case. Perhaps it would be taught in Harvard also as a case study. But then what? To me, what is important is if I learned something and I improved upon it. Otherwise, one indigo or 10 indigos happening in the world doesn't make any difference to me in my BCM or my resilience journey if I have not learned and improved upon. Big one, Indigo case. I will be talking a lot around this because there are huge learnings from this. So, top tip three today is a reality does not need validation. So, those stats are not important. It demands readiness. That's what we need to look at. From fear to journey of responsibility. BC should not exist because a regulator asks for it, and there are many countries, many industry sectors where there is no regulator yet, or the regulator has not asked for BCM or resilience yet. But we shouldn't be doing it because of the regulator. Or if a client asks for, the one my client has not asked for it so far. So why should I do it? That's not correct approach. Or the auditor expects it, so we should do it. Not correct. BC exists, I say, because people depend on you, on us. And these dependencies have been increasing. Customers trust you. So losing this trust is dangerous. Ecosystems rely on you. The concept says that if a big, the financial sector, for example, in any country, if that fails, it's almost the failure of the country. And then not only one country, then it may pass on to the rest of the world also. Indigo case, once again, it appears to be one of the biggest at that point in time, about 2 months ago in India. But that case could have, would have, if we really come to know the real impacts, far reaching impacts beyond India, beyond Indigo only, the global impact. So that's what the importance of business continuity becomes these days. Business continuity is not about compliance, it is about conscience. And we need to keep our hands on hearts and then say whether we are doing it or whether we are doing it rightly. I also say that PC is our right to exist, nothing more and nothing less than that. Numbers or no numbers, stats or no stats, it's my right to exist. That's why I should do business continuity. Top tip next number. Mature organizations don't ask, do we need BC? They actually ask, how strong is it really for us within our organization? And whether that's 50% or 60% or 80%, I'm recommending let's start asking better questions. For example, I'm giving some. How ready are we for the unexpected? That's what the question we should be asking us. Whether how many have failed or would fail. How fast can we recover? Because it's going to happen. By definition, anything that has not happened yet will happen tomorrow, for sure. How confident are our people during disruption? So we start thinking of our employees first of all. When did we last test our assumptions? In all plannings, there will be some assumptions. So business continuity planning also has some assumptions, and we need to be testing those. But when did we do that last? That's the question we should be asking. That's a better question to be asked. How confident this one is much more important than all other questions. How confident are our interested parties about our continuity capability? Your customers immediately, and there are many more interested parties, we know that. What really matters, I'm saying, is that your interested parties judge based on what? Their experience with you, their perception, and your behavior that they see during incidents. This is how they make up their minds about you, not on policies, certificates, and claims. Now, a little bit of warning or refining in this. I do not mean to say that policies and certificates are not important and are not required. Actually, the journey starts with the policy, right? But just having policies and certificates and we say that we are good is not going to be enough, because your interested parties are looking you very closely with a lens. What is happening with you and what are you doing? How are you doing? And the focus in today's talk, we are saying the continuity, disasters, crises, risks. Topic 5. And I said there'll be 6, so which means we are coming to the close of the discussions. Resilience lives in perception during chaos, not in reports during calm. And the new reality of business continuity is this: as a present, is simple, forward looking, and strategic. So, BC is a strategic issue, according to me. BC today, business continuity, is not thick binders, shelfware plans, annual rituals. Rather than, the business continuity is adaptable systems, capable people. Very important point. We call competency competent people. We perhaps do not even understand what does this mean. Most I'm saying, I'm not challenging anyone, but what I say in all of these discussions is based on the experience having gone across companies, countries, industry sectors in about 2 decades of this journey for me. And the confidence that the leadership shows or displays during crises or disasters. The culture of ownership. This culture is a big topic. We cannot do any justification on this discussion culture of business continuity or culture of resilience in 15 minutes or so. I've talked about this in past. I've written many blogs, all readily available on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll do more on culture with culture. And this is what is very important. A poster that I have attempted to give you all, whether the failure rate is 80% or 8%, the cost of being unprepared is still unacceptable. This should must drive business continuity rather than any numbers. So, top tip six, the last for today, is technology accelerates recovery. And today, no discussion on technology can be without AI. So, AI is a good technology. We need to be using it with care. Culture determines survival. So, culture is more important than anything else, and it takes time. It's not easy to build or to refine culture. Closing reflections, I would like to say you don't need stats to justify continuity. You just need to accept one truth: something will go wrong. Business continuity is not a checkbox, should not be. It is a commitment. The commitment not of the top management, but commitment of all of us. We all are involved in this game. If your organization is ready to move from BC on paper to BC in action, the conversation should begin now, today. I keep saying the time for resilience is now, and I'm going to say that in a minute once again. And I'm giving you some text for creating, developing your own posters. Again, these are some only. If you require, I can do more for you. If BC depends on fear, it will never earn ownership. So this is the text, and poster can be designed by your communication teams, designers that you have in-house. Compliance creates plans, conscience creates continuity, and that's what we need. Resilience is tested in disruption, not documented in calm. And as I always say, I'll say once again, wisdom delayed is opportunity denied. The time is now for resilience. So let the sun of resilience rise in all organizations. If you need help in awakening your most precious asset, your people, for sure, no doubt, and no discussions, no debates around that. If you need energizing your BCM and resilience teams, if you need an architect to shape your resilience culture, which is very important, I've said, do write to me, please. The culture involves designing, developing, nurturing, and sustaining. It's not easy. It's not one-time job. It's a journey, long journey, but it happens, can happen. Changes can happen. So I do this with innovative, exciting, engaging, energizing, entertaining, involving, immersive, digitally detoxing. So no laptops, no phones required, used, and educating BCM resilience games. And my signature workshop, I talked about that in last week's episode also. The great BCM Geeta Gyan copyrighted to me. As a resilience culture architect, I offer these services these days. If you have any questions about today's discussions, which was stats or no stats, BCM is non negotiable, or about resilience as a whole, please feel free to write to me and I'll be happy to respond. Normally, I log off at this point in time, but because a very senior, experienced colleague from Australia has logged in, Chris, quickly, your top tips on today's topic. I'm honored to have her here.
Oh, I thank you, Damon. I can only agree with all your good points. And I was just saying to a colleague earlier today that it's not about the plan, it's about the planning,
Right.
and it's about the confidence and competence of the people in using what you have, the plant. I'm a bit of a slimline
There
planning
is,
person,
it
a
seems there is some
checklist sort of
bandwidth challenge
person where
today.
some spaces. Try and reassure people.
Your voice is breaking in
Yes, I'm
between,
in an office at a
but I could
strange place.
understand what you are saying. Yes, makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. Anything else?
Mm. To both of us, obviously, and to other experienced people.
Great. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. IST. Logging off, Daman Dev Sood, your host for my weekly show, My Top Tips, every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST. This was the first of the new year. So my commitment to resilience continues.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.